exploring the Learn section, Part 3, quizzes. What I'm going to kind of highlight during this section is how to either, one, create a quiz directly in Canvas, or how to pull through or link your Google Form quiz that you might have already created in a previous year into your class. So what I'm going to first do is just open up my sample Teacher Sandbox page with my elementary. And just like with the elementary in the middle, I'm going to open up the Learn section. Like we had talked about before, we've got these templates. One thing to note, a page template, an assignment template, a discussion template, those can all be duplicated. A quiz template, when I go over to the side, I'm not actually able to duplicate it. So what I'm going to do is first, I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit this, because really the very first thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that I grab this, this blueprint theme that we have here. Where you see the quiz, the title, the learning goals, directions. So I'm going to grab this real quick, and I'm going to make sure that I've did a Control-C, or I right-click after I've highlighted everything, and I copy it. And I'm going to go into my module, and since I'm going to be creating an example one in math, I'm just going to go, for example, right here in fact families. This isn't really going to be a specific one with fact families. It's going to be more of talking about kind of equal parts. So I'm going to go to my add, and I'm going to add a quick little quiz. And I'm going to call this equal parts, just as a sample. And I'm going to make it a quiz. So where did it go? Now, if I look, it always adds it to the very bottom of your module. Now, one thing to note too, you'll see that anything that's a quiz has this little rocket ship. Anything that's a discussion board has kind of the quote comment fields back and forth like texting. And then our actual lessons or our assignments kind of have that page with a pencil on it. So I'm going to open up this equal parts quiz that I'm going to start. You're going to see that the quiz type is that it's a graded quiz, the points. None of this has actually been assigned yet because I still need to edit. So when I click the edit button, that's going to open up that content editor. And I'm going to click, right-click, paste, because I want to pull that kind of blueprint theme down. So the quiz title that I'm going to do for this is I'm going to call it Equal Parts. And I would want to make sure that I'm able to pull in the learning goal that's in our curriculum or the state standard. And my directions are going to be to please watch the video that I am including and then complete the quiz questions. Okay, so what I'm going to do real quick is I wanted to make sure that I showed a couple of different features while we're doing these trainings, and I can add a video straight in to this quiz with my directions before I even get to the question part. So what I did was I went to YouTube and I found this little video about equal parts, teaching kids how to divide equally. Now, what would be best would be me teaching the lesson and having maybe an instructional video straight from me. But I don't have that on my computer right now. So I'm going to insert this video and I'm just going to paste it in. It gives me my dimensions and I click OK. Now here is that nice little video. Okay. Now what I can do is I'm going to click save real quick just to make sure that I have it. So nothing gets deleted, and you'll see that my video is right here. If I have a quiz that I've already created and it's in Google as a Google form, one thing that I can do is I can go into that nice little quiz, for example, understanding equal parts, and I can grab, by going to the send button, what they call an embed code. So I'm going to take this embed code and I'm going to right click, copy, or select it by Control and then do Control-C, or I can go right here and click the copy button. So I'm going to go right back into my quiz now, and if I just paste that nice little embed code, it doesn't really do anything for me because I need to be in what they call the HTML editor side, which we will see right here. So I'm going to click HTML editor, and at the very bottom of here, I'm going to paste that embed code. That's exactly where I was in my document. And I'm going to click Save. Now what we're going to see is we've got our quiz, we've got that instructional video, and then underneath that we have the direct embed of the Google Form quiz. Now let's say that I don't have a quiz that I've already created, or it's great to have a Google Form quiz that's already created, but maybe I just want it to be directly in Canvas. When I go to Edit, I can go, and you'll see in this rich content editor, this is where I put all my information at the beginning. But if I go right up here to questions, I can now add my question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a question. So question 1 might be on equal parts. And I'm going to make this question really true, false, just as an example. Equal parts means that each separate piece is the same size. Okay, and then it's either true or false. Okay, and I'm going to say that yes, this is true. There's my false. Now, one thing that I have to remember whenever I'm adding a question, I always have to click this update question button so that it saves it. If I do not click the update button question and I just go over to the save, that question will not feed through to this quiz. So what I'm going to do real quick is I want you to see what this looks like. So when I go to preview, I've got, this shows me that this is a preview of my draft. I've got my instructions. I've got that nice little embedded video from YouTube. This is that Google Form quiz that I embedded as well, and I can go right through here and you'll be able to see I can do all of my information type in it. I can also go to the next category and you'll see that these are required because this is how I set it up in Google. So you would have to fill those out. And if I scroll down a little bit more, here's that one question that I made that I added on my own. And you'll see equal parts means that each separate piece is the same size. And I have to do either true or false. Okay, and then I can submit my quiz. Now, since I had submitted that, there was only 1 point associated with it because it was partly a question that was put in Canvas, and then it was partly a question that was also in, or questions that are in Google Classroom or Google Forms. When I do go to the edit button, I just want to show a couple more added features here. We do have our quiz type. Once again, it's either a graded quiz, graded survey, or ungraded, or a practice. You can set this up to sync to SIS or to shuffle the answers. You can enter a time limit. You can allow students to have multiple attempts at submitting their quiz. You can make sure that there's only one question at a time on a page, so kids don't get distracted by the amount. You can set it up so you require an access code, so students have to be provided with a code prior to being able to even start the assessment. You can cite it to everybody or just to specific students, and then it does have due dates that you can put in or put the availability from one time to the next. So just as a review real quick, I'm going to go back up to the top just to my types of questions. You'll see here's that first question, and whenever I want to add a new question, I just click the new question button. I can give it a title, but the different choices that you have when you're creating quiz questions or test questions, you have multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, fill in multiple blanks, multiple answers, which we would call that multiple select, multiple drop-downs, matching, numerical answers, formula questions, essay questions, a file upload question where you can have kids then create their answers possibly in an essay format in a Google Doc and upload that for you. It could also be an upload of an image that the kids have to get, and then the text no question. Thank you very much.